Welcome back to This is Cinema. It shows Kevin27 back with another fire episode. And today we have a myriad of movies and TV shows that we can get into. So let's go ahead and get into the first one. Let's go ahead and talk about Rebel Moon 2, The Scargiver. Now, I did not review the initial one because it came out at that weird end of the year, and I was just, tapped out from the 2023 onslaught that was This is Cinema and everything, so I didn't get into it. But we can definitely get into part two, and all of the fallout from it. So before we get into it, make sure you guys comment, subscribe, like, and please give a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast and Spotify Podcast. That makes the podcast a little more visible. And fuck it. Share this to your homies. DM it to some people. Hey man, if you want to hear about the latest movies and what an unbiased person thinks about it, holla at your boy Kevin27. Now let's go. So Rebel Moon Part 2 coming in hot on the Rotten Tomato meter with a whopping 18%. And only 51% with the audience score. So no love either way. And I'm a little, I'll say I'm a little confused, is because I'll say this movie is what I thought it would be. I'm not too up or down on it, to be honest. While I was watching Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, I was into it. But then again, I liked the first one. I did not like the first one enough to run it back, though. So that's the thing. And I mean, you guys know I tell you this all the time. Netflix has this thing where they make movies that's only good enough for one watch, maybe a second dose, but for the most part, man, Netflix movies are crap. And Rebel Moon, I mean, it wasn't like it was bad. But the first one, it was good enough for me to watch it. I liked it. So I was really hyped for the second one. So the second one says the rebel warriors gear up for battle against the ruthless forces of the mother world as unbreakable bonds are forged, heroes emerge, and legends are made. So it was this part in the movie, now that all of these people, they're close together and living with each other and stuff. And they was all giving their backstories on how did they get to where they ended up now. And it was very interesting because the initial chick, actually, let me get her name. The main chick, because I was like, oh, damn, this girl a piece of shit. So the main chick who played Korra, now how could I forget that name? Korra is one of my favorite names, obviously, because of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So Sophia Boutella, I don't know. But anyway, Korra, she tells her dude, who she ended up falling in love with, about the story to where she was being a bodyguard for the royal king, the kingdom. And they do tell this story in the first year or the first movie, but they cut it off right here. So when she's telling the story, she actually tell about how she was commanded to kill the princess. And when the princess died, it was like some Jesus shit, bro. You kill the princess and you see all of this light. And it's just like, it's kind of scary. But the crazy thing what the princess said before she killed her, she said, go ahead, I forgive you. So maybe the princess is like Jesus or something. Who knows? But, and I'm not trying to be sacrilegious or blasphemous, but I'm just saying, maybe in this story, she's like Jesus, if that makes sense. So when everyone's telling their story about how they get to where they get to, the Asian lady, she tell the story about how she cut her hands off and put the metal ones on, and the black dude, what's my man's name? Titus, he tell the story about how he surrendered. Remember, we meet him in the first movie, and he talk about how he surrendered, and his surrender causes men to die. So now he's telling the story, and now we can see it visually on how his surrender caused death by what's my man's name? Because he got a crazy name. Not is it Atticus? But I just forget their names. The bod something. But he telling the story, and this man surrendered, and they was like, yeah, 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 fuck all that, and just zapped the homies away. And I was like, damn, could you imagine? So you bring all of this trauma together, and then you get these misfits, and they looking at, Cora to tell her story, and she was like, oh, damn, I'm sleepy. Like, oh, damn. I done fake yawn and end up yawning. Yo, I'm washed. But anyways, so she pretty much hit him with the damn, I'm sleepy, and got up out of there, man. Got up out of there, changed the subject. Meanwhile, the damn, what is these people name? Um, oh, it's Balasarius and his army. Yeah, okay, Balasarius. Yeah, man. So, anyways, I just had to get that out there because it was racking my brain. But anyway, so that happens, and what I appreciated in this movie, it was a lot of action. It was part two, so they didn't really have to tell too much of a story. So when they get to the part where Belisarius and his goons, they show back up, and she was like, "Bruh, if I gotta kill you again, I'll kill you again." And they already he did it. He tried to set it up to whereas he put her in an ultimatum. All right, if you don't come with us, we just gonna kill all the women and kids. But and she was gonna leave too. She was gonna do the noble thing and get captured and all that, but her dude wasn't having it. And yeah, man, I really enjoyed the battle because I feel like half of this movie was just a big ass battle. And hey, man, maybe you should call me simple. I enjoyed it. Is it a Star Wars Matrix type of knockoff? I guess. I don't 18%, I'm not too sure as to why it's such a low score. I mean, 18% is highly low, and barely more than half of the audience enjoyed it. So I don't know what that means, besides you could just say it's a trash movie. I enjoyed my 2 hours and 3 minutes of viewing. Like, to keep it real, I thought it was good. I like my man's with the I think it's because the action was good. It was a lot of blowing shit up, and I appreciate that. So would I watch it again? I probably I probably won't watch it again, but that's because it's a Netflix movie. But I actually did. I watched Rebel Moon twice. Like, I watched it when it first came out, and I watched it to get ready for this one. Now, as far as Zack Snyder doing six of these movies, I mean, I'm not sure, but a third one has to happen. I mean, at least for me, I want to see a third one because I believe in the end of the second one. Now that everyone knows her secret, which is Cora's secret about her killing the princess, her secret's out of the bag, and now everyone wants to help her avenge the princess. So yeah, man, I want to see a third one. I would watch a third one. Clearly the critics do not like Zack Snyder movies. I feel like they get worse and worse every time Zack Snyder drops a movie. the criticism of the slow motion, I really had that in the Snyder cut. This one, not so much. I feel like the slow motion was needed as it was used. I don't feel like it was overdone. You know, so I like the Scargiver, and I like that relationship between Cora and Belisarius. I like that give and take type of thing. So I'm all for it. What would I give it out of 10? I give it a solid 6. Wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, but it damn sure wasn't the worst. Like it was a good film. Like I liked it. So I'm not going to rag on it and give it a 5. I give it a solid 6 out of 10. The action again is what took it over the top for me. Cora going against her goons, I liked. So I'm all here for it. I'm all here for it. All right, so we moving on. What we got next?